Oh shit. What up? What up, Moft? We back again. I swear to everything, this isn't the same wife beater as yesterday. Anyways, during lunch I wrote a parable. I didn't know it was a parable at the time, but I think it's a parable, so let's just read it. It's about a log, a personified log, and it's called the log and the villager. Well, the log and the villagers. How does a drifting log float in a world that hates water? The very essence of their nature is not valued. The villager says to the log, "Stop going with the flow. Stop being so easygoing. You must get on the land and walk up the mountain like the rest of us." The log responds back, "But I'm trying to get to the bottom of the mountain. Why would I walk up the mountain when I could go down the river? I have no desire to go up the mountain because that's where I came from. Why do you want me to suffer and walk towards something that I don't want?" And the villager said back, "Because we said so. Because the ocean is at the top of the mountain. Because heaven is at the top of the mountain. That's what we've been told." And the log looked at them like, "What? What are you talking about? How could the ocean be atop the mountain? The river flows towards water, and rivers flow downwards. What are you people talking about?" The villagers continued to shout and shame the log. "Get the fuck out. You wouldn't know hard work if it hit you in the face. You were so lazy." And so for his whole life the log was shamed and belittled. He had no clue why, and so from at times he would get out of the water and try to walk up the mountain. Except he had no legs, right? Every time he asked for help or for someone to pick him up, they ignored him, like he was invisible. And so he got yelled at for being in the water and he got ignored for being on the land. Okay? At some point, he gave up. He got back in the water and ignored the villagers as they ignored him. When he arrived at the bottom of the mountain, there was an oasis. The log got greeted by God. Oops. The log got greeted by God, and the log was so confused. He said, "God, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at the top of the mountain?" And God was like, "Who told you that?" And the log responded, "The villagers, dude." And God said, "I made a river for things to flow down. Why would I make it hard for people to meet me?" And the log replied, "I don't know, but all of the villagers are walking up, and they hated me my whole life for floating down the river." And this is what God said: "The only thing at the top of the mountain is the beginning of the river. Everyone will come to me eventually, but most believe that they have to suffer first. Oh, how clever the devil is." And so you ask, what is that even about? It's essentially about, I think for my whole life, I've been someone that kind of gets by. I'm someone that things tend to come easy to. I've never really been this really like put my head down and work hard for the sake of working hard. I never understood that. My dad's like that. My dad's kind of like, you know, my mom's a hard worker. My dad's a hard worker, right? And most people in our society are extremely hard workers. But for me, I like to finesse. I like to cheat the system. I like to find if I like to find the most optimal path. Like, you know, like at work, why would I sit there and do something that takes me 8 hours when I can just get it done in 30 minutes, which happens most of the time? You know what I mean? And essentially, I'm punished for being efficient. But I think for my whole life, I felt shame because it's like I see all around me these people working so hard for the same things that come easy to me, or working so hard for things that are meaningless that you could just get the answer to, right? And you're just like, and for a while I just shamed myself, because in a society that values hard work, that values the grind set, that values suffering, what is that to say about the log that just wants to float down the river? What is that to say about me who just wants to, essentially surrender to the universe and just let it take me? You know what I mean? Let the wind blow me, right? but not in a sense because I'm a pushover, but in the sense that that is for me freedom, right? And I think I'll, I finally understood this when, or not understood. The reason this came up was because I was on Twitter and this guy was talking about how, you know, the hustler mindset. He's like, the people that make 0 to 10K, they're just, they're trying to grind their way. Like everyone's trying to reinvent the wheel, but really the smartest people in society just reused wheels. They reuse wheels. They reuse. They have an idea. They go see if the idea is already happening. They see that, oh, my idea is already happening. Well, let me just take that, revamp it, tweak some part of it to make it better, and steal their client acquisition flow, steal how their logistics work, like stuff like that. It's about finessing. And so, all the people that are really like saying hard work and the grind says virtuous are the people that are literally like working 3 jobs and still like, working the 9 to 5, like those types of people. The people that are, and that's capitalism in a sense. It's like this whole time, all we have to do is flow down the river, but everyone's so, ready to get to the top of the mountain. But the only thing at the top of the mountain is the beginning of the river that you have to float down eventually anyways, right? Like you get to the top of the mountain, you're like, wow, I did all this hard work for what, right? And so, you know, all that shit about hard work and really like obviously there's times in my life where I've worked hard, but it's more so an obsession or something I'm passionate about. Or it's like I'm just gonna hyper focus on this thing for like an hour and get so much shit done. Like that for me, that's hard work, right? But in terms of like the day to day stuff, it's like I don't know. Like I've done hard work in terms of the gym. Like I've hit crazy milestones. I've hit crazy milestones in Super Smash Bros. Melee. I've done this right, and like I finished my bachelor's. I was gonna finish my master's. I didn't quit my master's because I had bad grades. I had like a 3.9. I just like didn't want to do it anymore. And so I think my point is like I realized that this whole time I think in another previous year when I was talking with Julian, I said I want I'm trying so hard to figure out how to work hard. But I was going against myself. And this thing that I thought was so shameful about me, this thing where I just, you know, find the easy way out or find the shortcut or figure out the glitch in the system. I was so ashamed about that, but that's such a gift. That's such a strength, right? You know, I'm at work and I got and like let's say like when I first got on the job, I had a coworker that was like, "Oh yeah, I was up till like 1 in the morning doing this thing. It took me hours to do this thing, so many hours, um, and I was up so late." And then when she tutorialed for me in front of me like what she was doing, I was like, "Holy shit, you're doing it so slow in like the worst way possible. Of course, it's taking you forever." You know, it's about I think there's a way to optimize and there's a way to get by, and it's like people are very against using AI for things. It's like, why would you not use AI? It's there. It cuts out all the bullshit work for quickly. Obviously, you need to like proofread it, and obviously you need to put it in your own words. But for structuring, for framework, for overall points, and like it's so useful. You know what I mean? And so I think my point is that things should be easy, just as your relationship with God. My relationship with God is not something. This whole time I thought I need to suffer and I need to work through all this shit and then present myself to you, Lord, and you'll and then I'll be good enough for you to see me, right? I need to suffer first before you see me. I need to suffer like Jesus Christ, and like his point is like, yo, what are you talking about? That's the sin of pride right there. Like my son died, so my son died for the purpose of you being able to present yourself to me in any way, shape, or form, as long as you are remorseful and you repent, right? It's like, you know, and so it's actually having a relationship with God is a lot easier than you would imagine. It's just sitting and being in silence, sitting and reading scripture. You know, it's not. He's like this. His arms are always open. He's like, pull up, pull up. Oh shoot! Now I understand. Like God's arms are always open. It's not about suffering. It's about like, dude, I've been down. I've been literally just. God's like, yo, I've been at the bottom of the mountain this whole time. Like I literally put a river here for you to float toward. I made it so easy for people to get to me. You know, pull up. and I've realized that, and like, dude, there's just after I wrote this, I just sat there with the dumbest smile ever, like on lunch break. I was in the middle of the woods on lunch break, just like with the dumbest smile on my face, because I was like, I don't know, and I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to him, and I love that, and I love that, I love that a lot. If anyone gets that reference, you're a freaking savage. Um, but anyways, yeah, like for those people, like there's another thing, right? There's a gifted child curse where you're told as a child you're so gifted and you're put in all these crazy classes, and then when you get to college or when you get to like late in high school in IB or whatever, you realize that you like whatever it is, you realize that you are not that gifted. Like a lot of people are just as gifted as you, and that's fair. But at the same time, those gifted children, things came easy to them, right? And then we were taught like that we were not for things coming easy to us or for us getting things done optimally or for us taking shortcuts or for us like glitching the systems. We were shamed for that, shunned for that because capitalism demands hard work. It demands you pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. It demands single mothers working 2-3 jobs to support themselves. It's like if hard work was actually valued, then why does someone have to work that many jobs to support themselves? Is it, dude? My dog just did you fart, bro? Like hard work is definitely not what is valued in the society. We say that just so people can, slave away essentially. But in truth, that's not what's valued. What's valued is griminess, is shortcuts. It's glitching the system. It's cheating the system. It's like, why do you think the rich people are so rich, bro? They're cheating the tax code like it's freaking nuts. They're cheating the tax system like crazy, you know. And I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm not saying that's what I want to do, but it reassures me that like when I go to work, it's not even today I was in a professional development course and one of the questions was, or at the end it was about storytelling, and at the end we had to write a story, and there were some questions that were being asked, and it was like, what do you want your career to look like, or like, what does your professional career look like? And I said, I don't want one. I don't want a professional career. I hate this. I don't want to be here. I'm a creative dude. I'm a creative log that's just trying to float in the river. I'm not some human that's trying to climb the ladder up the mountain of hell, right? Like that's not what I want at all, because because you get caught up in that. That's where your purpose derives from, right? Is how do I get the new job? Do I get more money? Do I? Nah, bro. I'm just trying to float in the river. That doesn't mean I get by, but that means that I attract opportunities to me. That I attract, if money's an energy, then I'm attracted to that, right? Like things come to me. I don't need to go out of my way to go get stuff, right? And I realized internally I have this blockage. I realized last night I have this really big blockage with money, where obtaining money feels like there's such a resistance. It feels like so far away. I think it's for the longest time of my life, like that's just how it was. Like that's how I was raised. Like even now, when I try to talk to my parents about their finances and stuff like that, they won't tell me at all. It's very secret, and they don't understand like what that there's a boundary that they're setting. But to me, it's like making me scared, because it's like we're not being vulnerable. Like, oh, do we not have as much money as I think? Are we worse off than I think? Whatever it is. And so I've developed this very scarce mindset with money, where that's very hard to obtain. And so I've been doing some work to kind of like I was literally listening to like last night before bed, listening to some financial affirmations, but not in the sense like, oh, I got $10,000, like that type of, like where I have opportunities coming to me because I'm a giver and I want to give to people, like that type of shit. And my heart, right when I started hearing this guy talk about and say these affirmations, I was listening with the waves crashing. My heart started pounding, 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 and I was like, wow, this is like whatever that version of me, that child, that wounded person inside of me is literally getting traumatized and doesn't know what to do with this information that's saying like we have everything we need. We're there's an abundance of money. Whatever it is, like we buy whatever we want because we know that money's always coming. Like our bank, that type of shit. It was like causing my heart to pound. It was so scary. And so what did I do to that? I reparented myself. I said, Nick, it's okay. You are worthy of all these things, and you were worthy and you deserve it, not because you've done something to become worthy of it, but because Jesus Christ died on the cross. You are worthy of all things, and this is not. It's not. You have to get past it. This is not about money. This is a spiritual thing. This is an endeavor towards God. This is a release. This is a release of fearfulness and a trust in the divine, being like and as a child you believed in miracles. As a child you believed in this you know, things happening, and there was not really logic to it. You just believed in shit happening, and it's getting back to that, you know, because the first thing that, you know, like, and so I was reparenting myself, and I was breathing, and I was holding my heart, and I said, "Baby, it's okay. Like, you deserve these things, you know." And I know right now it doesn't feel like it. And I know for our life, it's always felt like such a chase to even obtain a small amount of money. But what if more comes in tomorrow? What if this happens? It's okay. I got you. I believe in this. You know, maybe like what if, you know? And so and it was a beautiful thing. But I have such a blockage that my heart will literally pound in at the fact when I start doing, when I try to envision or start doing manifestation or envisioning some future self, or I envision myself like with what I want in life, my heart starts beating because it's like it freaks out. It doesn't know what it feels like. Like subconsciously, I don't think I deserve that, and so I've been reparenting myself to and planting seeds of worthiness and love and stuff like that, and removing the doubt and planting seeds of abundance, planting seeds of expansion, and then just keep repeating to myself that I deserve those things and that I'm loved and all that stuff. To get rid of that heart pounding, to make my subconscious and that traumatized version heal that version of myself and make them believe that this is possible. Anyways, that's all I got for today. I love you guys, girls, gays, queers, they, them, these, or any all. Have a blessed rest of your Tuesday. I'll catch you guys on a beautiful Wednesday.